In the late 1870s, the Scottish author and world traveler Robert Louis Stevenson visited the Monterey Peninsula in Northern California. He famously said it was the most felicitous meeting of land and sea in creation. And while that's the first time in my life I've said the word felicitous out loud, I looked it up and I can say with full assurance that the Monterey Peninsula is indeed felicitous for some of the greatest golf courses on earth, especially Pebble Beach golf links on glorious Carmel Bay. And what a rich golf history Pebble Beach golf links has in its over 100-year history. It's hosted 13 USGA championships as well as 6 US Opens. And it's in those Opens that some of the most indelible moments in the game's history have been produced. The first time the US Open was held at Pebble Beach was in 1972. And that was the first time the tournament had been played on a public golf course. Jack Nicklaus was at the height of his powers, and he hit one of the greatest shots in golf history on the 71st hole of the championship. He took a 1-iron into the wind into the par 3 17th, famously hit the flagstick, and the ball dropped stone dead. He tapped it in and went on to win the championship. Then 10 years later, in 1982, Tom Watson was emerging as one of the great players in the game. He was battling Nicklaus down the wire. He famously chipped in on the 17th green after missing it long. He told his caddy, Bruce Edwards, "I told you so," when the ball went in. He birdied 18 and went on to capture the US Open that year. And then in 2000, the 100-year anniversary of the US Open, Tiger Woods dominated the field. The course had been set up very difficult. He was the only player to finish under par. He won by 15 whopping strokes. It was one of the greatest performances in not only golf history, but sports in general. And the birth of Pebble Beach golf links dates back to 1919. Samuel Morse, a local real estate developer, thought this tract of land, which was right along Carmel Bay and was fairly free of trees, would be ideal for a golf course to attract investors to the area, which proved to be very prescient. And he also said that he could do the course very cheaply. He told the board of directors that they could get sheep to graze the land to keep the grass low, and he could get it designed for free. He chose Jack Neville, a California State amateur golf champion who had never designed a course before. But he did an incredible job. And as Mr. Neville said, the golf course was there all the time. All I did was find the holes. And from that original design in 1919, the course has really stood the test of time. There's been nips and tucks by several of the most famous golf course architects of their day, but it's aged like a fine wine, and it's better today than it's ever been. And the most famous holes are among the greatest in the world. Like the par 3 7th, just a little 100-yard flick down a hill. You got the cove on the right, the ocean behind the green. Just joyous, fun, pure golf. And by the way, when you play Pebble, make sure you hit the greens if you can, because they're the smallest in not only the PGA Tour, but in championship golf. And then you have the par 4 8th, 428 yards, bluff to bluff. If you hit a good drive, you got to clear the chasm on your second shot into the green, about 175 yards if you hit a good drive. And again, make sure you get on the green, because if you're not on the green, it's going to get tough for you. Then you have the 9th and 10th, back-to-back par 4s, over 1,000 yards between them. You got the sea bluffs on the right, bunkers and rough on the left, 2 brutal par 4s. And then, of course, the famous 17th with its hourglass-shaped green, very elusive to hit, especially if it's windy. And then you have maybe the greatest and most famous hole in golf, number 18 on Pebble, the par 5, 543 yards from the tee box, hard against the sea there. You take your drive right at the lone cypress in the right center of the fairway, avoid the seawall and the bunker down the left side, try to keep it in front of you, and then you have to avoid a cavernous bunker right in front of the green and also another tree just right of that bunker. You get your ball in the hole on the 18th at Pebble, and you've just played one of the most iconic and thrilling seaside golf courses in the world. Playing Pebble Beach is one of those once-in-a-lifetime golf experiences, like playing the old course at St. Andrews. It's worth saving up your money for, and you got to save up to play Pebble because the green fee is now $575, which is a lot of money for a round of golf. I will say the experience is fantastic. It's so memorable and the holes are so thrilling. The hole 18, especially the oceanside holes. By the way, Pebble Beach has a newsletter on their website. Sign up for that because sometimes there are deals in the off season. And when you're in the Monterey Peninsula area, check out Pacific Grove Golf Club, which is a muni. I lived there in that area when I wrote my book Around the World 80 Rounds, and I played PG Muni many, many times. The front nine is Parkland, a place through trees and really fun. The whole course is only about 5,700 yards. But the back nine, you have views of Monterey Bay, there's sand dunes and ice plant and deer frolicking around. Really joyous, fun links golf. So go to the Monterey Peninsula, play Pebble Beach, play Pacific Grove Muni. See you next time on Have Clubs Will Travel. Hey, take care. Thanks.